center.
Stand by for contact.
The following program is for adults only. Parental guidance is suggested. In other words, we're gonna be fucking swearing and talking about fucked up shit. Get your goddamn kids away! Leave me alone!
Hey man, you wanna see a really good show on the radio, man? Yeah, man, what do you got? Ah, man, it's called Cult of Contempt. It's really a great show, man. These guys are freaking crazy, man. They're absolutely out of their mind. Okay, man, but we gotta get really stoned first, man. Yeah, it's okay, man, no problem. Okay, cool, man.
Tonight, Phil contracts space AIDS. Paul tells us about his exciting new alien girlfriend with 3 boobs and 2 vaginas. We take a closer look at the band Wedding Funeral. Then Jim wears a suit jacket and delights audiences. All this and Inquisitor coming up after this. The following is a special message to rapper Ja Rule in response to recent documentaries regarding the Fire Festival. For more details on the subject, 2 different documentaries are currently available for streaming on Netflix and Hulu. Hey, Mr. J.A. Roulette. My name is Jim Cook of Cult of Contempt Podcast. I just watched a couple documentaries about a festival you co-created that defrauded many people. At the end of the Netflix documentary, many of the people involved, including the grandmaster of the shit show, William McFarlane, got punished. However, you didn't. What really upset me was Bohemian restaurateur Marianne Roll paid $50,000 of her own money feeding people all day and all night. That was that woman's life savings. Many day laborers who worked night and day for weeks did not get paid. Last time I checked, there's a word for people who work long hours and don't get paid. Are you sure you're okay with that? Now on Twitter, instead of apologizing, you play the victim. You're more concerned about Willie getting paid on a separate dock. What's the matter? You didn't get paid to be on the dock? You do should go to the Bohemians, and I think you're right. And the good news is money is being raised. But I can't for the life of me find any article anywhere that states you, Ja Rule, donated a dime. How do I put this lightly? You insensitive fucking twat. Forbes has you worth $8 million. You, sir, are a disgrace to hip-hop and do not belong in the same sentence with the likes of the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, and Public Enemy. Those guys had class and integrity. Where the fuck is yours? If anyone listening has a problem with this, help us let Ja Roulette know by writing to him and shaming him and spreading the hashtag #OpenYourWallet Ja Rule. That's right, Ja Rule, be cool, dip into your wallet, baby. Hashtag #OpenYourWallet Ja Rule. Put it everywhere. Look, if you send money, I'll back off. If you don't, you're on the COC shit list. Always remember, the cult is watching. And now, Cult of Contempt Podcast presents Out and About with Jim Cook. That's right, we sent Jim Cook to talk to people. Here's what happened. Now that Robin Williams is dead, are you happy or sad?
I'm completely indifferent.
Woo! This is Gwen from Dreamvelt, and I am promoting Cult of Contempt.
I am promoting? What do we pay you? Or do we have you at gunpoint?
One time, I listened to 6 to 8 for about a half an hour, and I really enjoyed what they were talking about. But I stopped listening once they left. Sorry, Phil.
I was talking about my wife's boobs, and I think I made this guy uncomfortable.
From what I understand, people in France get naked every day.
Would you want to see somebody getting a blowjob on our podcast?
No, what? Who would want to see that?
The guy getting a blowjob, maybe?
yeah.
Phil, be good, goddammit. This is Alana of 6 to 8 Mathematics. You're listening to Cult of Contempt Podcast. Listen up, fuckers.
Consider us looking grimly with an inquiry. It's time to name the asshole of the week soon. Cult of contempt. Cult of contempt. Cult of contempt. Wednesdays at 8:15.
What's up, freaks?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the Cult of Contempt podcast.
Hey guys, I'm Jim Cook.
Look, it looks like Jim is like the substitute teacher, and I'm like the TA, and like Paul is like the unruly student we don't know what to do with.
I'm the narc in the school.
You are the narc. You went undercover.
Hey kids, you got drugs?
I'm the substitute teacher. I'm like, hey kids, I'm just doing this as a day gig. I play keyboards on the weekends. And I also do some shows at the Chuckle Hut.
Oh, we had one of those in high school. He's like, I forget what his last name was, but he goes, don't call me that. Call me Rob. And then he's like, if you pause Boiler Room just at this point, you'll see me standing right behind Giovanni Ribisi. Nice. So fucking, just cheesy.
When I went to school in Newton, we had this substitute teacher who claimed he played for the New York Giants. And he was this big fucking hawking like wrestler on too many roids. Or wars like this. And this one popular kid was making fun of a handicapped kid, and this guy he went off, threw his desk and said, "I will eat you."
Nice.
And that's how I learned what steroids do to people. So I have a quick announcement. A Clash Bar barfly and Day, and it turns out she's a writer. S.E. Grossman. It is her birthday today. Happy birthday, Sam.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Happy birthday.
Check out Sam or S.E. Grossman on Facebook because she has what she calls dope poetry.
Dope poetry.
And hi, Alexa.
Hi, Alexa.
Shall we Inquisitor, or what should we do?
I don't know. Yeah, let's Inquisitor. I heard Ozzy Osbourne's gonna die from pneumonia.
Oh God, it's another rock and roll genius that's gonna be.
If Rolling Stone doesn't fucking put him on the cover, I'm gonna be really fucking pissed.
You don't think he's ever been on the cover of Rolling Stone?
No, when he dies, I'm saying, because they dropped the ball on fucking Lemmy. Lemmy should have been on the fucking cover. If Hunter S. Thompson can be on the cover, I know he had a Rolling Stone attachment, but Hunter Tompkins was kind of, Hunter S. Tompkins was kind of underground and, raw, and so was Lemmy, and I think that he belonged on the. I think they had like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Would Lemmy want to be on the cover of Rolling Stone?
I don't know. I don't know. He's got a little bit of an ego. I think he liked his legacy.
He had a rougher edge than that. He wouldn't want to be part of Rolling Stone. He was drinking fucking Jack Daniels in a back room somewhere with two girls on his arm.
Did you guys ever see the Lemmy documentary that VH1 Classic did?
I've still never watched it.
It's really good, and there's this scene where these guys are like, yeah, so we're backstage with Lemmy, and Lemmy hands us a bottle of Jack, and we were like, okay. So I take a sip, and then he's like, hey, pass this one down too. We weren't doing shots of Jack. We were all having a bottle of Jack apiece.
Wow.
And girls like, the Rolling Stones are flying fucking first class, but Lemmy's still, drinking fucking highballs in the back of a bus and touring.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Says Dave Grohl, who probably flies first class.
We really don't like Dave Grohl.
No. Oh, God, no. Exact opposite. No, you told me Bob Clash hated Dave Grohl.
He seems to have some disdain, yes.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just kept writing Dave Grohl and we got Dave Grohl to play the Clash Bar? Do you think Bob would never let us in again?
I'd be like, you see, he can't play here. Where does Jello pudding pop? I always do Bob as Cosby. Why? Because he thinks it's the funniest thing when I just go on the stage and it's like, the guy who owns the bar told me that the girl at the door will make me a sandwich or knife. It is. I haven't done it in so long. I only do it there, but it's about I could go in the back and get either a sandwich or a blowjob, but it's the same girl who does both. I think that's what the
well, that's from a movie, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think that's from a movie. That's actually kind of cool. That is the perfect woman.
That voice sounds kind of strange. I don't know, something's wrong with his butt. Do you think he's making that sound now in prison for a different reason?
I thought you were talking about Bob. I'm like, why did Bob go to prison?
Bob's not in prison yet.
Yeah.
All right, so Inquisitor asks, what's your favorite band of all time and why? Bill, you want to take first?
Well, Clutch is my favorite band of all time. They fucking rock. They're amazing. They're amazing jam bands. They have very unique sounds. Each one of their albums keeps getting better and better. And I actually got to meet the band one time on the side door, through the side door at Starland Ballroom. I saw everybody was pouring out. I went out the side.
Did you get rotisseried by
No.
Was it Clutch?
Yeah, Clutch.
Clutch?
Yeah.
The Clash? I don't know why I was going to say it.
The Clash. I also like the Clash.
Did you get rotisseried by the Clash?
No, but we were just hanging out.
Was like, suck my cock with your beard.
I just asked the lead singer.
Simonet probably like fuck dudes. I don't know that he was giving kind of a vibe.
Who did?
Simonet, the bass player. He's the guy on the cover of Lemon Con.
Keep going about Clutch. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I want to just think hashtag ADD.
What's your favorite band of all time? Did you get fucked by them?
No. They just were hanging out, and they were just down to earth, super cool guys, and they just come out in jeans and t-shirts and play, and I'm like, right on, regular dudes.
No gimmicks.
No gimmicks.
Except that they're tuned down.
Maybe. Who's your favorite band of all time? Jerkface McJerkstein?
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I have two guesses.
I think it's probably... I don't know, it's tough to say. Like, you mean in terms of albums or in terms of bands I've seen? Because it's like...
All right, well, let's revisit the question. What is your favorite? Has nothing to do with their popularity or critical...
Yeah, but it's like... Yeah, that's true. My favorite? I would say Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers.
Wow.
Like, that fucking album, LAMF, is like my fucking...
I gotta hear the whole album. No,
That's my favorite rock and roll album. Everything about it is... perfect. Like, no song is boring. It never feels like
it was said in, and it probably will piss you off, but it was in, like, I think one of the Aerosmith guys' books. They're like, there's some people who were musicians that did drugs. The Dolls were junkies who happened to play instruments.
Yeah, I think that doesn't piss me off. I think it's...
I didn't know if it rubbed me the wrong way, but I don't think Aerosmith was trying to be dicks about it. No. I think they were just trying to paint a picture.
Well, listen to Aerosmith and listen to the New York Dolls, and you can tell which one cares more about music and which one cares more about having a good time. But personally, I would rather listen to the New York Dolls than Aerosmith.
See, I think Johansson wanted to be Aerosmith. I think he wanted the 15. But I think Johansson gets lazy.
But think about this too, like Kiss started as like a New York Dolls ripoff, essentially. Like,
a lot of bands, started out that way.
And became probably way huger in pop culture.
For sure.
The New York Dolls just reappeared after 30 years or whatever, because Morrissey threw a bunch of money at them.
Yeah. No, he's right. Like, that was in the Arthur Killer King documentary.
Yeah, that was a great documentary.
Yeah,
it was like Buster Poindexter. Like, and as a kid, I always remember hearing "hot, hot, hot" all the time.
So you lived in a world where you knew David Johansen just as hot, hot, hot guy, and maybe a few cameos in some horror movies, but you didn't know about the Dolls.
I knew David Johansen as the crazy cab driver in Scrooged, and then it was like, oh, that's the hot, hot, hot guy. And then
I didn't know that.
And the cab driver was supposed to be like Sam Kinison, I think.
I believe it.
And fucking Bill Murray like slipped Johansson.
And then I heard trash, don't pick it up. And then it's like, oh, that's all the same guy. I had the same realization with Glenn Danzig though, too.
Okay.
Like, all right, so I think...
So you knew Danzig first? Like,
no, I think I knew...
Sam Hain?
I knew Danzig first because I got a CD that had... with my Comic Zone game on Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Nice.
It was a CD that had like all demos from American I think it's American. Yeah, it was like Rick Rubin's label. Def America.
Oh yeah, Def America. Yeah.
So there was a Danzig song on there, Underbelly of the Beast. It's not even good, but I was like, oh, this is the best song on this thing. Like, I'll check this out. I had also heard the Misfits probably around the same time. Because of Metallica covering them, so I kind of checked them out.
Yeah, that's how I found
them. That's how I found the Misfits.
Hearing Hybrid Moments and hearing Mother, I was like, that's the same fucking guy that's singing that song. Like, it just clicked with me at that moment. And I, like, started looking them up, because all I had was, like, burned CDs and shit me and my friends would have. We knew nothing about it. We just, like, liked how it sounded. But yeah, it was like a weird realization for me, like with the whole David Johansen, and then the whole Johnny Thunders thing. It was like, I don't think I heard that album probably till I was in my 20s, maybe like 22, 23, early 20s.
I think that's the best time to get influenced by music because your mind is open.
I got super into like the Queers. And,
so I don't know the Queers that well. I gotta. Yeah, we gotta do a thumb drive exchange.
Yeah, I'll give that to you actually. There's, I don't know, just a lot of bands. There's a band called The Creeps from Canada. Like, I would say one of their albums is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Really?
Yeah, and if you listen to it, like, I played it for my friend, and he's like, this sounds like your band. It's like, this was the band that I listened to, like, as a kid that, like, probably nobody knows. There's some weird Canadian band called The Creeps, and they had one album that I happened to have from somewhere. One of my friends gave it to me, or I downloaded it or something. And, like, it just stuck with me. Like, the phrasing, the songwriting, like, I hope I don't get sued. I don't know if I ripped them off since, but, like, my old shit kind of sounds like their shit in a way. And I say that in, like, honestly, like...
You gotta start somewhere.
You know, there's so much stuff where I play it and I ponder. I'm like, does this sound too much like this or too much like that?
Oh, you can drive yourself crazy thinking like that.
Yeah,
there's patterns to your music. I've noticed.
Oh, absolutely.
You have
I'm the
you
first
have a
person
different...
to go from, like, I'll play 4 chords for a verse, and then I'll just do the first 2 going into the, like, I'll do the first 2 like twice going into the chorus. Like, that's my pre-chorus. It's just like a half verse.
Yeah.
Like cheap, you know. Like, I don't know.
Well, the Secret song had a pattern to it, and I actually found a melody over it, and then I tried to do it again, but then you extended it. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta figure something else out. But I'm still playing around with it. I have so many irons in the fire right now. Like, my life is just like.
Yeah. I find as a writer is, you know, whatever I read sort of influences me as a writer. You know, so whatever art that you're consuming that is your motive art kind of influences you. But I don't think you're taking from it too much. What I think is that you're kind of this cauldron of all the influences that you like, and then you kind of sprout out something new. At least that's the way I always found. And, like, you know, I was, like, kind of long-winded for a while, and I actually read a lot of writers that were, like, short and to the point. Yeah. And got the action moving, because that's really important, especially today when people have fucking nanosecond attention spans. And so, like, I read Hemingway and all these guys, and I just read stuff that I knew would influence me in a positive way, and it really turned out for my writing. So do you, like, purposely listen to a certain kind of music in order to maybe influence the way that you write music?
To a certain kind of music.
Yeah, you kind of stay away from certain things.
I purposely avoid a lot of things unless I enjoy them, really. Like,
okay.
But, like, I'm in a band. The Band Hormones are kind of considered like a horror punk band,
right?
In a way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's how I would.
I always just considered us like a punk band. Like, yeah, we have kind of like horror-y songs, but, like, if you look at some of them, like every other line is something poignant, and then the following line is about aliens. Mm-hmm. There's like a subtext in there. Like, I don't know, my whole, like, career with music was kind of cool in a way. I got to do this super group in like 2009, and I had Mr. Jim from the Misfits on drums.
Right.
And I had Mike, and he was in a band called Continental Crow with this dude Mike, who was on guitar, and they were pretty good. And then we had Steve Berman he was in a band called The Victims on bass, and they're like
I've heard of The Victims. I've seen.
They're the only other band that was ever out on Glenn Danzig's record when he owned, like, back in the 70s, like Evil Live Records or Plan 9.
Right.
I think it's Plan 9 Records.
Plan 9, yeah.
And, like, I picked up so much music theory just from jamming with them. And Bobby Steele taught me so much, like, just little, like, shit that I thought was hard. He's like, nah, it's not hard. Watch this. And it's like, it's 2 things, you know, and just, like, broke it down for me. And, like, so I'm kind of the sum, I guess, of, like, not all those dudes.
It's like anything else.
But I really do think when I play drums on a song or when I play bass on a song, I think, what would Mr. Jim do, or what would, like, Steve from The Victims do? Like, it's just a great point of reference to have.
Yeah.
And because when I play drums, it's usually to a rock and roll song. A lot of times if I'm doing, like, punk drums, I record them slow. and I speed them up because I got arthritis and shit. But I could play like a good.
Are you playing on like? Oh,
I play on an electric drum.
Wow, you're a pretty good drummer, dude.
No, I'm not that good.
I don't know the song you sent me. I love the
composer. Like at the end of the day, I'm a composer. Like I get a good take of something, but I couldn't sit down and play that song for you on drums. I could play it on guitar, and I could play it on bass, like the way I.
All right, so you use the technology.
So
to kind of
I use technology
to fake your way through it
for some of my drums. Yeah,
but you couldn't perform.
I've never admitted that even. Like I always just left it vague. But
it's a good thing we're not like broadcasting this or anything.
No, I don't care anymore. It's kind of. It is what it is.
But you have a really good sense of a drummer. I think if you were like, independently wealthy and then just had a kit in the basement, I give you like 3 months and you'd be pretty good. As good as anybody that plays the Clash part. I'm saying I think you have a good sense of rhythm, and I think you
think
could be
about
a
drum phrasing almost in the same way I think about any phrasing. Like I don't know. I just realized a drummer has a foot on a hi-hat that goes up and down, 2 hands, and a foot that controls the kick drum.
Right.
Well, unless you have a double kick pedal, I don't utilize one of those. I sold mine.
I never liked it, but hey, I should probably say my favorite band of all time.
I was gonna steer it back.
The problem is, it changes every second of every day.
What's your favorite band of this second, and then maybe like 50 seconds ago? I want to know both now. I want to see what it ranges from.
I mean, all right. In third place, I'm going to go the Stones. In second place, I'm going to go the Beatles. But in first place, I'm going to go with an underdog, Canada. There is this punk band, Stiff Little Fingers, from Ireland.
Is this the new Green Day?
Yeah, they were in the movie High Fidelity. Yeah. They were playing something off the first record. The first record is regarded one of the greatest punk records of all time, and it has actually made lists. Not mainstream lists, but lists. But Stiff Little Fingers is great. And then there was this embarrassing story. So Stiff Little Fingers were kind of anti-NRA, and they were more orange Irish.
Oh.
And green Irish didn't like the orange Irish because it was a Protestant Catholic thing, I think.
Yeah.
So I was working with this guy in TV, and it was an Irish guy, and I was like, "Wow, this guy probably knows Stiff Little Fingers." I was like, "My favorite band is Stiff Little Fingers. Are you a fan?" And he's like, "I fucking hate those fuckers." And then this asshole producer that I fucking hated, I forgot his name. He's just like laughing at me. I was just like, I am gonna kill that fucking douche. I was so embarrassed I wasn't embarrassed about the music side of it. I was embarrassed because I didn't really understand the politics of it. But
that's that asshole's problem, not yours.
But I highly recommend the albums Nobody's Heroes, Inflammable Material, and some of their later records are actually pretty good. Jake Burns has a very unique and very good voice, and he added melody to punk that I think punk needed. I mean, I don't know. I prefer my punk with melody, and there is a lot of punk with melody. Depends on what your definition of punk is.
I prefer my punk with spunk.
Well, yes, there has to be spunk. There has to be some fire. There has to be, as you said a couple episodes ago, rebellion. So,
yeah, for sure.
No, I totally get that, but I don't know. Like, there's something about. I mean, are you familiar with Stiff Little Fingers? Or you just know a few songs?
I know them kind of casually. Like they're just one of those bands.
I'll load you a couple good records and a couple. Some of their albums have some clunkers on them, but there's a great song for anybody who's ever been in a band. Google it. It's called "Wait and See." And it's just the most moving song, and it's very inspirational. And he never plays it live. And we got to see him as we're at Wonder Bar, and Allie and I got there early enough to get in the front row by the gates. Wonder Bar is a great venue to see a show
for sure
for guys on their way up or on their way down. Anyway, so Allie got a look at the set list, and it was kind of a retrospective tour, and they got some old members back. And Allie's all like, you're gonna be happy, but you're gonna be disappointed. I was like, no fucking wait and see, huh? And she's like, how did you know? So that was kind of, but it was kind of cool. But I finally got to see him, and I love that band, and they were a huge influence because I don't know, a lot of like Terry used to be kind of my source of punk music, and he played a lot of angry stuff like DRI, if you consider that punk, Agnostic Front, if you consider that punk. Some people call that hardcore.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
There's so many definitions and at this point, the term punk means nothing.
Hardcore is a type of punk.
You know what?
It's just harder punk.
We need to standardize.
to most people. I think it has a meaning to us. Like, I can look at a band for 5 minutes and tell you this is a punk band or this is.
But like in some circles, Blondie was punk, and they were kind of a punk band.
You know what? I think in that circle, so is the Talking Heads, and so is television.
Yeah.
And
Is television worth downloading in my time? Like, do they have good songs? Or I only know the one song that was in the CBGB's movie, which I highly recommend.
Do you like Richard Hell and the Voidoids? You ever listen to that?
God, my friend John Trask is always telling me about them. I watched one video clip. I wasn't that into it. They seemed a little gothy.
Nah, they're.
Or am I thinking of
like
somebody?
A bunch of fucking weirdos.
I think we have a ghost.
What the hell was that?
Are we?
Yeah, why do we have a brownout? Can you guys still hear us okay?
I hope so.
Let's see. Oh, can they hear us? I think they can.
I hope
It
so.
seems like they can.
Good.
But that's weird that we had a brownout. I paid the bills. You know, if we're gonna go with a top 3, I would have to throw The Damned in. Like, The Damned is one of my favorite bands of all time. That's probably more influential to me than the Misfits are.
I really like The Damned too. And I've seen them
Clambo from the Goon Saloon, he lent me a bunch of CDs. They're kind of different. They're sort of on this cusp of punk, but on this cusp of what became like the British New Wave, like the
But then they became a punk band again.
the Depeche Mode and and then they became a punk band again.
Recently, dude, the last 10 years, they put out like a couple of.
I literally
great
have a song on my iPod where there's trumpet, like.
They got very dramatic
Eloise.
for a while.
I think that's.
Yeah. They got so dramatic.
Or there's so many songs that they have like with a trumpet, and especially from the 80s, all that goth shit.
Yeah.
But no, man, Grave Disorder is fucking awesome. And then they put out one after that. I think Who's Sorry Now or Who's Laughing Now, something like that. It was a couple years ago, and that one too is fucking awesome.
Huh.
Like they still write great. I don't know if Dave Vanian and Captain Sensible are writing it, or it's like the younger guys in the band. But they got it, man.
I'll have to give that particular record a listen. And I do so much working on the computer nowadays. I'm using YouTube as like my jukebox lately.
And I would say too, Iggy and the Stooges.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
All right.
Or Bowie. That's another.
I'm gonna open another window, so to speak. All right. Is Raw Power the first punk rock record? Some people believe it is, and
the first punk rock record is the Sonics, dude.
Yeah,
the Sonics were punk rock fucking before any of those bands were. Like, whether or not you think, you listen to it and hear it's punk rock. That was the heaviest fucking music.
They were garage rock. They were blues.
Fastest music that those. No,
I got to see them actually at the Wonder Bar. They're great.
The Sonics are fucking awesome.
They're so good. Jimi Hendrix tried to sit down with them and jam, and they said no. They're all from Seattle. Yeah.
Dude,
that was like Seattle.
That's like that was something I heard early on, right?
What, the Jimi Hendrix story?
No.
Oh, the Sonics. Oh, okay, the band.
And that was something that I heard. Like, I remember hearing that as a kid and being like, "This is fucking awesome!" Like, this is around the same time as the Beatles. Like, why the fuck were these guys famous? Like, I thought that was just the greatest thing that I had heard.
The Beatles were better looking, I think.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what the Sonics looked like. You could line up 4 70-year-old guys in front of me. Yeah, this is the Sonics. I'd be like, oh, great.
Some members, I think, have passed, and there's like a younger guy or a guy that like dyes his hair. I don't know, but he looks like way younger than the rest. But yeah, Ann and I went to the Wonder Bar. I think Allie and Alana were there as well. And all right, guys, if you don't know the Sonics, The Witch and Psycho.
'Cause she's the witch!
Are like 2 of the coolest songs. I didn't hear them until Nuggets. I didn't hear Nuggets until Little Steven talked about it on The Underground Garage. And I loved The Underground Garage because they'll play like the Shondells and then the Ramones and then the White Stripes, and then he even played The Living End. And the Living End is probably in my top 10, but not my top 3. That's a great Australian punk band. They got chewed up and spit out in this country.
Prisoner of Society.
That was their big hit.
Society.
Oh my god, I got a great story, really quick great story with that song. So I've seen The Living End enough times to know that kids mosh during that song, and now I am a large older man, and these are little kids to me now, and I just walk right through the pit and get right up front, and I grab a set list, and then I actually have one. I had them sign it. I grabbed one for Alec. So this one time, it was at the Wonder Bar, and I couldn't get up front, and I got knocked back, and then I bump into this guy, and I look over, and it's Freddie Unreal. And he's like, "Hey, Jim!" And we like went like this, and he's like, "This is fucking great!" And then he just starts diving into the crowd. Like, I don't know how familiar you are with Freddie Unreal.
I like Freddie.
He's just a cool fucking dude.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
When I was in the Undead, we played with them at what's that place? Roxy and Dukes.
Oh yeah.
At that show, probably.
I was at that Halloween show with the guy that was videotaping everybody.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But me and him kind of like hit it off, and
he's a really easygoing guy. He's a good-looking dude, but the band was like his first band was better when he had that Asian guy that played the Gretsch. But then that guy left, and then I thought the band went in a different direction.
I like the first album name. I think it has candy corn on it or something. It's
that sounds familiar.
It's like an orange album cover, like candy corn. I think in a drawing. I thought that one was awesome. They covered Tom Petty on it. Last Dance with Mary Jane. Like I remember, I bought that from them, and I was like, oh, I think thinking about covering that song, and then I heard theirs. I'm like, fuck, I can't do it now.
So I like when different bands cover the same song because it's like you're showing off your kung fu,
well,
your
if
style,
I did it,
your interpretation.
I would do it over D-Beat, like Fat Mike, basically. It would sound like No Effects.
Oh yeah, if you did Last Dance with Mary Jane, like just snarling and Fat Mike was not a very good singer.
I would be so mad.
Clever lyricist, but
I would be so mad if I had one Last Dance with Mary Jane. I had to give away at the end of Half Baked. Now, like as a kid, I'm like, I'm glad he chose not to do marijuana. But like as an adult, I'm like, fuck, I would turn into a cripple covered in psoriasis in like 6 months. Like I'd be dead. I'd be getting that hot black pussy like Dave Chappelle, but I would be dead.
How much black pussy could you get while you're like,
a lousy cripple? Yeah, no, I don't know.
I wouldn't put it that way, but
I always put it that way. That's my favorite way to preface cripple is with lousy.
So
don't laugh; it's offensive.
It's pretty funny.
So do you want to do the movie, the album review, or do you want to?
Oh, do you want to show them what I'm?
The wedding funeral.
Yeah.
Are we playing tracks?
I'm gonna play a live video. Actually.
Oh wow! All right.
That I have queued up over here.
Which song is this?
It's called Maggots, and it's on a show called The Special without Brett Davis.
I watched this today, and I wanted maggots to crawl into my ears, so I didn't
let's
hear
let
it.
the crowd hear it first.
Okay.
Was maggots on the record that they had?
I don't know, but I was on this show, The Special without Brett Davis.
Where are you?
With special guest host Jesse Camp.
Nice.
Wow.
And we could revisit that sometime. And I also found another thing, a side note that I want to visit in a future episode.
Okay.
One of our old short films from when we were kids and The Matrix came out.
Nice.
And so yeah, I guess decided to rip that off in my friend's front yard, backyard, and basement.
Well done.
Yeah, with a really stellar fight scene.
Was that the video I saw?
I posted it on Facebook the other day.
Man, those punches were real.
Some of them, yeah. Especially when he's hitting the little guy. It's hitting his little brother, and you see him like beating the shit out of him. Sometimes he like really kicks him. It's great.
Why are kids being cruel to each other?
Well, now that kid, we like toughened him up because he's like all fucking jacked, and he can kill any one of us. Tom. Well, we're sorry. We're sorry we made you the referee in backyard wrestling. We're sorry. But yeah, should we play The Wedding Funeral?
Alright, what was the name of that song? Mannequin?
It's called Maggots.
Oh.
I wish it was called Mannequin. It would be based on an awesome movie.
That's another song. They have a song called Mannequin.
And we can...
First of all, what is this girl doing?
Oh no. It's loading.
This album.
She's swimming in the air.
in Massachusetts, and then they'll be on tour for all of November. Please give it up.
Oh no, it's loading. I'm gonna lower the quality. You guys don't deserve HD. You get it in 360p and you like it. That's what she said.
If I had $1 for every time, though.
All right, guys. The girl's name is Ethel Lynn Oxide.
Is that her real name?
She should drink peroxide.
And the guy's name is Darren.
You can drink peroxide. It doesn't kill you.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
God
No,
damn it.
if I have like a mouth sore, I do the peroxide. It goes away faster. It's supposed to whiten your teeth too.
My computer doesn't even want to play this because it hates it as
Can you
much
pull
as
up the
I
website and just play the 30-second clips?
Why would I do that, Jim?
I don't know.
When I could try and struggle through playing the actual video. No, you get it in 144p. That's gonna look like it comes
We're
off
experiencing
of an old cell
technical
phone.
difficulties.
This music, to sum it up for me,
Oh, nice.
sounds like music that I would fuck a girl with a fake name to. Like her real name is probably Stephanie or Jessica or Sarah, but her fake name is Rose
Raven.
Critics are about the wedding funeral. Paul Maud says I fuck a girl with
My
a
computer
different
can't
name.
even sit through this. It wants no part of this right now. That's how much my computer hates this. Ugh.
This is our first band review. I put out a thing on the NJ Scene thing on Facebook, and this was the first band to send me something, and I appreciate that.
They sent you this?
Yeah. Well, they sent me the link to buy their record, and we'll talk about that. But
I found this to be like almost. It would be funny if it was a parody. If it was a parody of a folk horror band, then it would be funny. But that they actually try to do this seriously makes me want to throw up on people.
see, that was my question: is it tongue in cheek, or is that
It can't
their
be.
I don't know. You know, it's probably one of those things like it's.
It could be an
like,
Andy.
Rasputina lives in a castle and cries. Fuck her.
All right, this is on their page. In the year 2017, the Nazarene Plague Hour, the powers that be inadvertently opened a new dimension as they languished in respective prison cells. Darren Deicide and Ethylene Oxide were set upon by a vision in the form of a great beast, mercilessly sodomizing all of existence. Everything that is known was fraud, and society was a loathsome whore. This is the Alpha. This is the Omega. This is the wedding funeral. If you guys are listening, I will introduce you, but you got to pay me $20 and buy my drinks all night.
This is a failed English major. That's what this is.
All right. My approach to the reviews, you guys can do whatever you want, is I'm going to say what I liked, what I didn't like, and what my bottom line is.
I like the costumes.
But no, I'm just, all right. So, we did not receive a full CD, so I'm reviewing this based on a 10-song CD based on 28-second clips of each song. That is not ideal for a review. So, word of advice, Wedding Bride.
I'm doing it based
Wedding
on this
Funeral.
horrible video that I tried to watch.
I watched 2 horrible videos.
No matter how small the outlet, free publicity equals we get a free CD, so we can give you a fair shake. But fine.
But you probably don't want to send it.
Yeah, after this is over, you're probably not going to send it. But here's what I like.
You just look like a cheapskate sending a CD like that.
It wasn't even a CD. It was a link to 28-second clips.
That's what I mean.
It was
What the
like,
fuck
yeah.
is that?
Okay, what did you like about it?
All right, there's
Please,
a song that
I'm
you
riveted here.
If you go on the website and hear the clips, it's like
What is the website, Jim?
theweddingfuneral.com, I think. Just put wedding funeral into Google. That's how I found it. All right, so the use of theremin on "You'll Be Safe When You're Dead," I think the best track, had a dark new wave zombie B-52 vibes. "The Land of Dead Pigs" was an interesting track. I wish I could hear where that went. "Room 609" had a Jack White quality to it. Not sure if it had lyrics. "Ethylene Oxide" actually does have a hauntingly beautiful voice, and the tracks "Mannequin" and "Scarecrow" illustrate that well. However, like the first 4 tracks were fucking awful.
Awful.
The Tobias Lullaby, the Drowning Sonata were purposely discordant. It sounded like they didn't even tune the fucking guitars. But it's hot, you know. And then I don't know.
I'll be positive now.
This is not something I would listen to in the car, but I think, you know, some indie filmmakers out there could really utilize their songs and material to set a dark tone and an old-time horror atmosphere. I guess old-time horror is gothic, whatever. These guys could make some decent money at like Halloween shows if they're, you know,
And if you guys are listening, they may shit on you, but listen, talk to a guy named Anthony Barbara. He does events at this haunted manor, and I think you guys would fit for that kind of a thing. Work it out with him.
Yeah, talk to Anthony Barbara.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's a good dude.
I believe that there is no, all music has a purpose somewhere. This is not something I'd listen to in the car. This is something that belongs in an indie movie or a documentary.
It's something I would listen to while I fuck a girl with a lot of makeup and a fake name.
Are you wearing the makeup?
That has shitty candles and a cat.
Paul Mudd says I'd fuck some girl to this.
And then I wouldn't call her back.
Would you make her scream twice? Fuck her in the ass and wipe it on her?
I don't ever fuck anybody in the ass. I think that's why I got divorced.
Alright, that's an off-air conversation for later, but... Oh my god.
This is the kind of music I would play at Gitmo if I wanted somebody to give up where the fucking terrorist nest is. I think it's awful.
You know what I would play for that?
What?
Barry Manilow.
They actually play Slayer and shit like that.
Yeah, I would enjoy that.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
There was a guy who was imprisoned for no reason in Guantanamo Bay, and they
no reason.
No, he turned out they finally cleared him, but it took years. And
I wrote a book about it. Well,
yeah, and he was listening to "Here I Go Again" over and over again by Whitesnake. But that song has that one guitar trick that da 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 da. There's so many fucking songs that do that chord progression. Pour some sugar on me. Allie knows the rest.
Yeah, 145.
It is 145. Yeah. The Joker does it, but so I don't know. So how is "Here I Go Again" torture? I don't know. I would go with something more, Cannibal Corpse to torture Gitmo. This might delight them because I don't know. I just want to know if these guys are tongue in cheek.
These people released their album in Salem, Massachusetts, and I'm pretty sure they did it on Halloween. What is worse than that?
But that's part of the gimmick. That's part of their brand. That's what they want to do.
It's awful. And if you watch him play guitar, he just looks pretentious, off to the side, like he doesn't even believe that he's playing guitar. I just think it's terrible.
If the wedding funeral people are listening, we will give you an opportunity to call in. You can call us assholes if you want. Thing is I want to do honest reviews of bands. So any bands out there listening, I want their band reviewed. Am I pointing? We will review it, but we're going to be honest. We're not Blow Up Radio. Blow Up Radio just blows smoke up their ass, and the guy who runs that just talks about the bands behind their back.
No, I don't.
Laszlo?
Yes.
Laszlo would do that to bands?
Alright, fuck it. He used to shit talk the stem when they were the Stems before 6'8" Mathematics. He used to shit talk them behind their back all the fucking time. They're a terrible band. They were
know? Fuck him. All he does is take MP3s from band and play them on a radio station where he makes no money. Who gives a fuck about his opinion?
Interested is interesting. That's his brand.
He's a fucking jerk off. I met him once. I don't know. He looked like Captain Picard. Fuck him.
He looks like a dude in an X-Files episode. Do you remember the Jose Chung from Outer Space
We're
episode?
taking callers now.
We're taking callers.
We can take callers now if anybody wants to call in.
Is the number up or should I read it?
No, the number's up.
Also, you said that
my blood pressure.
The demon appeared in what? Anally raped existence? How do you
sodomizing all of existence?
That sounds stupid.
Yeah, you escalated it to anal rape. They just sodomized. It might have been consensual.
Well, sodomy is either oral or anal.
Can I see that? I want to see that
right
up.
Sure.
Either one could be consensual.
Jim's clipboard is
in
brought
the
to
year
you by
2017 of Nazareth Plague era, the powers that be inadvertently opened a new dimension.
Oh my
Thoughts and
God.
prayers, thoughts and prayers.
Tony Tanz is so deep. Like I don't. Do we really? I don't know. Like it's not my bag, but I think it has its place in the world, and I would go see them on a Halloween show as like a thing.
No, you'd go see my band.
Yeah,
because I'd be doing Black Flag, just wearing little shorts like Henry Rollins, about to draw on all the tattoos.
Nice. So we want to do next movies. Asshole of the week.
Yeah, no, we got to talk about. There's a Child's Play remake coming out.
Oh God, did you see the new Chucky doll?
I did.
Do you like it?
You know what I like about it? That they made all different races of Chucky dolls.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think
And it's not a guy who just does like black magic and goes into a doll. Now it's like AI and shit. That
It's AI,
some company
and
made.
I think it's they took the original script was called Blood Buddies, and it was a doll that would bleed, and the kid does like a Blood Buddies thing with him, and the kid is evil and puts evil into the doll. Like that was the original Child's Play script, and then the whole movie is kind of is the kid doing it or is it the doll, and then they took that over, and also the kid's mom works for the doll company in the original script. They took that over, changed it. It's a poor mom trying to get this new doll. This voodoo fucking guy puts his soul into it. That's the Child's Play we all know.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I like that aspect of it.
I love those movies. Like,
Yeah.
that's my favorite horror series, I think, of like a series of films that I could watch 6 of the 7 of them and really enjoy it. And Seed of Chucky has its like moments for me. It's like a silly movie.
That just seems like a dumb concept from the get-go.
It's really campy, but like John Waters is fucking hilarious in it. Like
he
he's
makes
a
a cameo?
TMZ guy, and he takes like a picture of the doll masturbating. Like it's fucking so over the top. Chucky kills Britney Spears. He runs her off the road.
Is it really Britney Spears?
No, they say that in the credits, but it's supposed to be. Like it's so over the top. But what this new movie is supposed to do is bring it back to kind of that original script that they can fuck with, and they can make their own Child's Play movie because they own the rights to like that whole situation, like the first movie and making another.
So this is a complete reboot then.
Yeah, but there's going to be a Child's Play TV series with the original, Brad Dourif doing the voice and all the people from like the
He
last
was
movie.
fantastic in the
Fucking
first one.
awesome.
When the doll is freaking out in the woman's arms, she's like, "You fucking bitch!"
Yeah.
That scared. Like fast movements really fucking scare me, and that's why I liked the remake of Dawn of the Dead because the zombies moved and it was more frightening.
See, I like that idea, but the fact that zombies move fast pisses me off because they're decaying, they're dying. They wouldn't. What about when you have the flu? Like, who's calling?
All right, caller, go ahead.
You're live. Turn off your radio.
Oh, hey, y'all. It's just me, Alexa, calling in to say hi.
Hey,
Alexa!
Hey, Alexa from the Clash
Hi,
Bar.
everybody.
How's it
Alexa
going?
from
How
the
are,
Clash Bar.
how are all of you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I've been listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate the
Been
fuck
great.
out of that.
Thanks.
It's been a great time. A real wild adventure. Great, shout out to Sam.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, what's your favorite
Fun.
band of all time besides the Bad Hormones?
Interpol and the Bad Hormones.
Interpol?
Interpol.
Interpol. I feel like Interpol.
Heaven
Interpol.
restores you in light.
Phil, if you could shut the fuck up, I can finish my thought. That'd be
That was
nice.
me. That wasn't Phil. That was Paul.
So,
I was actually gonna
Interpol.
agree with you, Alexa. But okay, go ahead.
Well, that's
All right, I
great.
got a $20
Let me
bet that
fucking finish my thought, because I'm not done fucking talking yet.
Sure.
Something we learn as children. I understand some of us may not understand it yet. But so Interpol, because they're an album band, you can sit there and listen to the entire album. It's extremely cohesive, fucking great. And then also because live sounds like their studio mix and their live mix albums. Like everything sounds the same, and I love that with the band.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Interpol. I miss them. Are they still around?
I think they actually just released or they're releasing an album, or they just released a new album. But I haven't taken a listen for it yet. I haven't had the time.
Excellent.
It's been so busy in my polyamory.
I heard you're writing a lot now.
You've been with my boyfriend.
Yeah, cruising around in a cool Benzo. How's that?
Wait, you have a
It's great.
boyfriend? I must meet
Yeah,
him
I'm
as your surrogate father. I must approve of him. He must fight me.
You can approve of both of them. You actually probably no, I'm not one to make my private life completely out there, but you, Paul, you definitely know one of them.
No, hold on. We're having technical difficulties.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Hold on, we'll be right back.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's called censorship.
No! Why?
Broadcast.
Great.
Uh-oh.
Let's see, wait.
Hey out there, can you hear us?
Hello, hello. We're still here. We're not dead.
Hello. Is there anybody out there?
Just say something if you can hear me. Well, I guess it's fucked.
No, I don't know. Wait, can they hear us? I don't know. I love
right.
this. I love this whole experimental aspect. Lindsay Decker hears us.
No, we're here. We're here.
Hey, Lindsay, thank you.
We're working. I don't know if we could take fucking calls right now. I don't know what's going on.
Blew our shit up.
My computer's been acting funky.
Alexa, I'll be in the Clutch Bar on Friday performing. If you're there, we can talk about this new boy. I must meet you.
She's also said something about polyamory, which I was curious about, because she also said boyfriend. So I don't know if they're polyamorous or she's writing about polyamory. How did that mix in there?
So either way, you're getting a boner. Is
Let's
what you're
call
trying
her
to say.
back.
Well, well, I'm sitting next to you, big boy. So that's a given.
Did you have a thing for a substitute teacher?
Yeah.
Substitute.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I like blonde guys. I
I'm
like
trying
blonde
to call
guys.
her back. I don't know how Skype works.
I like blonde guys that turn into tomatoes. Can you call her back?
I think I can. I don't know. I'm on the internet.
You're the little fucking engine that could.
Let's see. Is it gonna work? Yo!
They're back.
Can you hear
Back
us?
on air.
Oh!
We're here with Sam Grossman.
What were you saying about
Sam Grossman?
polyamory?
About what?
Phil was very interested in your talking about
Of course
polyamory.
Phil was fucking interesting, because Phil wants to figure out how to make it work.
No. I'm actually
No,
in a
Phil
very
can't be one of my boyfriends. I have standards.
I'm
Sorry.
actually in a very happy relationship right now that is not polyamorous. But
That's
thanks
cool,
for
girl,
asking.
boy. That's called monogamy. Doll.
Right. Well, it might be dull to some people, but we're enjoying ourselves. But what's going on with you? Let's get back to what's going on.
Yeah, anyway, so I just was like, yo, you can be one of my boyfriends, and they're like, I'd be one of your boyfriends. I'm like, cool, now you are. You're welcome.
So, Alexa, would you call this more of a rotation than polyamory?
And that's how
Like-
you get. It's more of who has the time, because I like, it's this thing where it's like you can do 100% of your attention 20% of the time, or 20% of the attention 100% of the time.
Do you get rotisserie?
No, I want to. I'm totally waiting for a double threesome. That's my goal for 2019.
What's the average of their penis length? Phil wants to know.
Oh, I didn't want to know that.
An average,
He's like a monster for a
probably
friend.
around 7 inches.
Phil's
7
very
and a
pleased.
half, maybe.
How come I'm all like my name is being thrown around right now?
Because I didn't want to
they're
know.
not, they're
You
not
asshole,
soft
speak for
like
yourself, pussy.
So, Alexa, since we got you on the line and we're talking about dicks, are dick pics a turn on or a turn off?
It depends on who's sending the dick pic.
Yeah.
What if it's like just a complete stranger that?
It depends on the criteria. If I can smell it through the screen, coloring, angle. Like some people you can smell the poverty on them. Like I know you ate ramen and I'm not even in the room.
A good filter. Do you like that?
You could smell the ramen on the penis.
I make ramen, but like I use the fancy Japanese kind.
Yeah, compared to $1, it's the bougie ramen, Sam.
We can't hear Sam Grossman.
There is a road right by where we are.
It just sounds like.
For those who are listening, Sam Grossman's kind of like if there was a remake of Breakfast Club, she would be the Ali Sheedy character.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I've said this before. I've said it confirmed in the remake.
I thought she would be Anthony Michael Hall.
I am Anthony Michael Hall in that movie, actually.
You're Anthony Michael Hall.
I am Anthony Michael Hall.
I thought you were Molly Ringwald. Are you a virgin, Alexa?
Am I the Molly? I don't think I'm the Molly Ringwald. I think I'm like the what the fuck was that guy with the nostrils?
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson, the guy from Cabin by the Lake. My favorite underrated movie that
Did you ever see
that? Out of me.
There's two of them.
My favorite freshwater thriller.
Yeah, there's two of those. They're great.
Yeah, the second one's even creepier because like they make the movie and he's just like lurking. It's like they know he's a murderer. They know.
Yeah, I really
He's
hope
on
they
one
make
of
a
the boat at
trilogy.
the end of the last one. You're like, ooh, there better be more.
Cabin by the Lake. You guys should seek that out and watch that. That's a great like made-for-TV.
They used to do it on USA all the time. Scaring the shit out of my fucking 11-year-old self. Like, no, I don't want to fucking swim in this lake. There's bodies.
Yeah, but he did such a nice floral arrangement around the corpses.
He gardened them. He would garden them. He would change their clothes and shit.
Yeah, he would go down into the water and change the
I wish
clothes
someone
all
would
the
love me
time.
that much.
Oh, it was great.
I wish someone would love me as much that much. Kidnap me.
If you were dead, I would sink you to the bottom of the lake like Jason and change your clothes for you.
He's like down there with his scuba gear, like jerking off, like. Oh,
yeah, how do you jerk off in scuba gear? Isn't it very tight? Did he have the genitals cut out?
You go sit in the car, do they?
Just walking around like that in the pool room where you have to change. People are looking at the boat on the way home.
Is anybody, is there gonna be a party at the Clash Bar this weekend or what? I heard you're doing a pajama party. When is that?
We're doing a pajama party March 9th because I had this other guy that was a pain in my ass for fucking like 2 months straight ask me about the date. I get the date, and then literally like 2 days ago he canceled the whole entire show he had booked.
Why?
So we're doing
What's his name?
We're doing a pajama party now, and I'm waiting on international override because they're gonna get back to me.
honey, the 9th is the Strip Down Aces are playing at Bogies. I'm not gonna be able to make it.
Well, that's fun.
It's a free show. We're doing it for the people, and it's like half a mile from my house. I could walk there.
Fair enough. And then
it's Ellie's birthday weekend, so ladies' choice.
And then on February 16th, we have our annual Fuck Valentine's Day party, and this year it's themed as Singles Awareness Party.
Singles awareness.
You must be aware of singles.
We're gonna have 2 different kinds of wristbands and encourage all the couples to bring their third wheel, and then everyone's getting different color wristbands depending on your status. We'll have 2 wristbands.
Do you have any for HIV/AIDS status?
I am also gonna have a third wristband saying I am partly single, because fuck it, why not?
Do you have one for different STDs though? What if like 2 people that both have herpes are there and they want to copulate?
I'm just not gonna fuck them raw that time, I guess.
Is there any forms I have to fill out for this?
Yeah, aren't there like sex groups that have like forms?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a
We have
thing.
Mine does.
agreement you gotta stop them, so when they stick my finger in your ass, you can't tell your friends and I can fuck them too.
What? I didn't catch the beginning half of it.
Wait, yeah.
The end of
You
that was
fuck whose friends
It's in
too?
the fine print.
something about finger in the ass, and I fucked
Read
your
your
friends too.
contract. It's in the fine print.
Yo, y'all are crazy.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
I can't achieve female ejaculation without fingering a butthole. This is
Jill
the rule.
juice? Is that what you're talking about?
Sipping on
Wow.
juice? No, that doesn't work. Oh
It's
god.
like if I'm putting the rubber glove on you and you don't know what's happening, then you're a fucking idiot.
You actually put on the rubber glove? Now, do you prefer Vaseline or just like your
I'm not
standard
trying to get a
weed?
droopy finger, guys. Like, come on, of course I put the glove on.
That's hot. That is fucking hot. Do you like work in the whole fist? I mean, like finger to fist?
Oh my god, Phil, guess what happened?
What?
This guy fucking paid me $30 Amazon gift card to piss on him and then make him cry. Like, well, no, he wanted to piss on himself and have me make him cry.
Wow. So how's your dad now?
I think it might be
Alright, that was baller. Wow.
So are you gonna see him again?
No, I only saw him on the internet. I didn't meet him in person. I would never fucking meet a weirdo like that in person.
Oh, so it's like a
He
cam
wanted to
thing?
piss on himself and cry.
I think you have met weirdos like that in person. They were just coming to the bar.
Listen.
I'm not saying you peed on him or anything either. I'm just saying that.
Is the Clash Bar Gimp guy in your rotation?
But I think what we did here, not only did we
I
learn.
made him drink a whole bunch of root beer and piss on himself. And then I made him, and then I got him to Amazon.
Wait. The root beer. Was it Stewart's or was it Boylan's?
Or A&W.
It was mud. It's busier. It's harder to drink.
Boylan's is your classy.
It's
My
dad's root beer.
Oh, you gotta keep a closer eye.
Like, suck all this mud. Don't burn.
Did we fix the window yet?
And then I know you were waiting for him to jerk off. I just stopped talking to him, and then when they're like, "Hey, are you there?" I just stopped answering. Fuck
Nice.
that.
Did he
Got my
cry?
money. I don't. Yes, he cried. He cried. He pissed on himself. He cried, and then I stopped answering him after I got the code.
Wow. Oh yeah. Fuck that
I felt
guy's
like Ocean's
feelings.
11 guy.
Wow. That's wow. Alexa, you're a piece of work, kid.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me what I bought with the Amazon gift card.
What did you buy?
Strictly Terran San Pellegrino by the case. It's $23. You buy them both on Amazon though.
San Pellegrino!
Like you get a free $1 a can and then you get a free one, you know? It's right to your house.
Yeah, that's baller drinking San Pellegrino.
Did you ever try the San Pellegrino that has the tea in it with the flavors? It's really good.
No.
I drink that with cough syrup.
You know what we did do today? I tried a orange flavored yogurt drink from an Asian market, and I've never. So for Sam's birthday, I took her to an Asian market, but it wasn't like a nice one. It was like the one in Bloomfield. Yeah, it was like Belleville, but it's like we walk in, it literally just smells like fucking high tide hit like the strip club. Like,
Oh, you guys went to the East-West market?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so, but like I've never been to one, so I was like walking around and like, why is this cabbage in a bag? And they had like those hard-boiled eggs with the fetus in them, and I was like, ooh.
Oh yeah, the duck eggs, that's so good.
Yeah, they did.
I love eating a duck egg like an apple.
Yeah, it's like you hear the crack, and it's like really, really good. Yeah, apparently it's really crispy and good.
No, it's delightful. It's excellent.
We walked in and we brought the ramen and at the counter, the lady like looked at me, I'm like, we're having a ramen party. And she like hated us. Like, I've never felt so discriminated against in my whole life. Oh my god. Phil, you probably know what it's like because you went to Japan or Asia or whatever, right?
Well, they were actually very nice to me, but I mean, yeah, you know.
Yeah, because you don't understand Japanese, and then you would walk away and they would say shit about you.
Maybe, but they always bought me booze.
Oh. They wanted to have sex with you.
Probably.
Everybody's fucking Eden and fuck. Oh god. Raymond.
I mean,
everybody loves Raymond. They hated us.
Inquisitor has a question for you, Alexa.
No, but like I will give you. Here's my. This is my bartender's tip for the week. Go get some boba. You make it according to the instructions, and then you soak it in Malibu. And then you make, your black tea, but you put coconut milk in it. Spread it over some ice, your bobas. You gotta make sure you get the bubble straw.
Boba Fett?
Okay,
Inquisitor has a question for you. You ready?
What? A present?
A question.
Don't you know Inquisitor? He hungers for questions.
I think there's a delay, man.
There is a
Who
delay.
would you rather eat sushi off of? Honey Boo Boo's mom, June, or O.J. Simpson?
June.
O.J. Simpson, for sure.
Right? He's sexy as fuck.
I knew you'd pick
No,
O.J.
no,
Simpson.
it has everything to do with the body odor that would come off the person, like whatever, he's in jail, but
Yeah.
in the shower, like, Honey Boo Boo's mom smells like a
I bet
fucking
you
walk.
O.J. Simpson's beard feels like sandpaper.
I would do OJ too because that woman looks like a
You
fucking
know-
thumb.
you know Honey
She's
Boo Boo's mom
gross.
smells
She's
like
gross.
fucking
She looks like a
right
goddamn
now.
thumb. Ugh.
She smells like the fucking inside of your deli drawer after you come home from vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Nice.
Oh, you
Like
know
if
what
a
we're
big
gonna have?
toe was brought to life, like if a big toe and the Mucinex guy, fuck, that would be Mama June.
Speaking of moms, you know who we're gonna have on next week?
Your mother.
No, the tanning mom.
Who? Are you really gonna have Tanny Mom on?
Yeah.
Like, come on, here, we're gonna Tanny Mom. I'm a fucking expert witness.
Okay.
All right, cool. I'll write it down in my schedule now.
Happy birthday, Sam. Thanks for calling in.
Happy birthday. Happy ramen party.
I showed her your shout out. It made me giggle. We were just to a bar. Jim, you should come here. Please come here and do a song that makes us not want to kill ourselves. Because these guys are here like doing fucking like some old man look at your life shit. I can't.
Look at this.
We were expecting.
We're doing heroin in the bathroom.
What? Where are you guys?
We're at Jigs in Butler on Route 23.
Oh, Christ! I'm not driving out to
Go
Butler.
all the way to Butler, Jim.
Come on.
Wait, what is in this for me? Are you at least gonna like buy me a sandwich?
It is my birthday. But I love you.
What does that mean? Sam, I can't read you for the life of me, man. You're a crazy chick.
The smell of steak sauce like filled my mouth. It was like when you open a porta potty door with your mouth open, but with like steak sauce.
Well, I think on that note, we're gonna
move on.
We're gonna skedaddle.
Thank you,
Move
Alexa.
on. We're gonna go below Sam's bar tab.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Sam, show up to the Clash Bar Friday. I'll buy you a drink.
Let us know what you're gonna pee on for money later.
What did she say?
Everybody class bar, plug, class bar, everybody class bar, go. But honestly, I demand drinks from everyone except for Alexa. Yeah.
She demands drinks from everyone. What about my uncle that knocked the beer onto the donation codes?
Was that your uncle?
Yeah.
I don't remember that story.
All right, we love
guys.
you guys.
Be good.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
All right.
Love you.
Happy birthday.
Call me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Later.
Yeah, my uncle spilled a beer. He like leaned against the table that a beer was on next to the donation codes. So then I picked up all the donation codes and just booked because Sam ran over all mad. And I gave him a talking to. And I didn't want to be there, so I went and talked to you instead.
I'm the consolation to the trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I can see how that's a win.
Give him a stern talking to.
We're gonna get the fuck out of here.
We're out of here.
Anything else we want to plug before we go? You want to plug your gig?
Yeah, Even Eden and Rockstar Race Car and the Atomic Disasters will be playing this Friday. Atomic Disasters are doing a semi-new cover and a brand new song. So come check it out.
What's the name of that song, Jim?
It's called Tick Tock.
Tick Tock.
Nice.
Because in this world, time's running out. Don't think of tomorrow. Live for today.
Tell him, Jimbo.
Some shit like that.
You want to plug anything?
Phil Perry the Writer on Instagram, Phil Perry the Writer, my Facebook fan page. You can DM me if you need any help with any writing stuff or if you just want to chit chat.
DM Phil.
That means direct message because I'm a big boy. I know things. Nice.
You could find me at Paul Mall. I don't know. Just look for me. You'll Google me. You'll find me. I'm not fucking hard to find. And
we'll just be here working on projects.
We're out of here, guys. So
Later, gators.
Peace out.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed our presentation of Cult of Contempt podcast. If you have any questions or comments, or want to hear your band on the show, just write us at cultofcontemptpodcast@gmail.com, or check us out on Instagram or right here on Facebook. On behalf of Paul and Phil, I want to thank you for listening. We'll see you next week at 8:15. I'm Jim Cook. Transmission out.